Let's go.
Welcome to the LIV Golf Team Championship.
The golf has been mesmerizing.
They are the LIV Golf Team Champions.
Team golf is back.
Oh, yes!
Are you ready?
Let's go!
That's what champions do.
What is the ceiling for this kid? Now that he's got the money, and we saw something click with him, what is the ceiling for a Jordan Love in this Green Bay team?
Deepest pass target group in the National Football League. 2 stud tight ends. They're legit 5 deep at receiver, 7 bona fide pass target deals. Come on, man. This guy could be a stud. Top 5 quarterback.
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid.
It just goes to show you how special this guy is, and I can't figure out why he doesn't cut through like the Tiger Woods of the world in that kind of dominant fashion in years past.
He stepped up to the tee box on the 14th hole, and he was 60-1 to win that golf tournament. You know, he was trailing by 6 shots, and he comes out on top.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
However many units are on the line, however many people, however many cocktails, like it's a perfect scorecard. And someone questioned him on one hole. He's like, well, one thing I never get wrong is the scorecard. And then we're on like 13 and he's added up and he's like, this is wrong.
I looked back from number 13 and I'm like, I'm missing $140 somewhere. I don't know where I'm missing it. And I'm looking back and I'm like, no, yeah, it doesn't match up on 11. And I got to track it back to like number 7.
Only on SportsGrid.
Ferrall has taken over. Let's go. It's Ferrall. Coast to coast. Steaks, chicks, stacks. You and I are going to make a lot of money. It's Ferrall. Coast to coast. How about this? We got the great author and writer Ian O'Connor on Coast to Coast today, and he's got another amazing book out of the darkness, the mystery of Aaron Rodgers, and it's getting a lot of buzz and attention, and deservedly. I was just telling Ian, I'm a huge fan of his work through the years. He's done everything brilliantly as a writer, and now he's kicking out these great books, one after the next. It starts the sale of this book on August 20th, and it's already getting the reaction, certainly from Rodgers. Now, I know that he did this interview with my old friends Boomer and Gio. I think that was this morning that he went on their show. By any chance, did you catch him talking about your book today?
I did, Scott, and it's great to be on a legend, to be on with a legend, like I said earlier, as far as you're concerned. But, yeah, I heard him with Boomer and Gio, and he hadn't read the book yet. I was glad to hear that he's at least going to read the first chapter about his grandfather's heroism in World War II, and after that, we'll see. But he made the book better by giving me a 2-hour sit-down at his Malibu home, which obviously he didn't have to give. And he owed me nothing when I started this unauthorized project. So, but he's the best interview in the NFL, and he proved to be that day. And he definitely made it better with his candor, his thoughtfulness. And I've always found him from a distance to be a great interview. And I think that is an underappreciated part of his public persona.
So, you know, what I can't figure out about him is that he was willing to talk to you in Malibu, and he does such a thorough interview with you and spent that much time with you. And then, he talks about how much he appreciated your work and how much he respected what you did about his grandfather. And then he basically, in not so many words, today said all the other stories are lies and don't believe anything you read. Like, at some point, you just want to punch him in the face. Like, what is it going to be with this guy? I mean, honestly, like, he's cool enough to do the interview with you and talk about all these things. And then he turns around and says, don't believe what you read.
I might have missed that part. I don't know if he said that on the Boomer and Gio interview or he said it later.
Well, listen, I'll say what he said.
Yeah,
I think he reached out to 500 people and talked to maybe half of those people. I believe he had already written the first draft. We had a conversation and sat down. It was more just kind of him asking a few things. A lot of the stuff that you're hearing here is 20 years old. I commend him for the time he spent on it, but it's not a book I asked him to write for me. He said there are some interesting stories, I'm sure, that are coming out of it, and a lot of those are not based on fact, to be honest.
Yeah, please him. Well, the thing is, there are objective truths, and then there's, as he talked about at some point in that interview, perception. And Aaron Rodgers could be in the middle of an anecdote, a scene somewhere in his life, and there could be 4 or 5 other people there that people I talk to, and they may have a different viewpoint on what happened in that scene. That doesn't mean it's wrong, and it doesn't mean Aaron's wrong as far as his version of that story is concerned either. But this book is I wasn't there, obviously. I was living across the country when he was becoming a young football star. And so I relied on the memories and cooperation of people in his life. Every fact in that book came out of someone's mouth who knows him, who's a family member, a friend, a teammate, a coach, an opponent, you name it. So listen, I want to see him read the book first because he said he hadn't read it. And then let's see what his summation is at that point. But what he's saying right now is irrelevant to me until he reads the book.
You're right, Ian. Absolutely. I want to ask you about why, when you dug into his personal life, about his estrangement from his family. And, that's amazing to me that, there's only one way to describe it from my end is how does a guy... I'll never know. It's not my family. It's not my business. But how does a guy, it seems that when you get superstardom and you rise to the level he has with all the MVPs and a Super Bowl ring, and then maybe there's a chance someone might get a little different and cocky and change a little bit. But I've never heard of someone that just absolutely disowned his family.
Yeah, as far as superstar athletes are concerned, I think he's the first one I've come across where he's in this position now where he hasn't talked to his parents and his only siblings in almost 10 years. Outside of his brief interaction with his father last year at Lake Tahoe at the celebrity golf tournament, they had an emotional hug. They told each other they loved each other, and it was emotional for 30 seconds, and then it ended. It was a meaningful moment, and I think hopefully it was the first baby step towards a reconciliation. But yeah, and everybody wants a singular reason for why this division in the family exists. And there isn't a single reason. There are about 17 reasons. And some of them seem, from the outside looking in, to be pretty petty. It seems to me that this estrangement has taken on a life of its own. It's a living organism, and he doesn't know how to kill it off. And so it's easier, instead of confronting it and ending it, to let it linger. So hopefully, again, this scene that I have in the book from Lake Tahoe last summer with his father. And by the way, the road to reconciliation with the entire family is going to run through his father. His father was his idol, his hero. He wanted to be his dad. He had said that when he was a college player. And he said in my book, he wants a relationship with his dad. And I think when that happens, Scott, the rest of the family comes together in an organic way, I think.
I hope that comes to fruition for him, because I can tell you, when you lose your father, you'll rue the day that you didn't fix your problems. Everyone's got all the answers when people are alive. They don't have them when they're gone. I want to ask you about his rehab from this injury. I was reading Lupica last Sunday about, this is about, can this guy come back from this at his age? And that he hadn't won a ring in 13 years, and he's got one ring for all of his magnificence and his power as a star quarterback in this league. Everyone, no one talks about anyone more than this guy in the NFL, and he's got one ring. I've always talked about, there's a lot of guys. Eli Manning's got two. Honestly, this guy gets more attention than any player I've ever seen in my life that's got one ring. And then he talked about his failings in the playoffs the last couple of years. What was it like talking about the rehab of the Achilles? And do you believe, Ian, that he can be great again?
I think he might have 1 year of greatness, Scott, left in him. The recovery from the Achilles surgery was brutal. In the early hours of that recovery and rehab, he was questioning whether or not he could ever play again. He was questioning whether or not the Jets actually wanted him back. There were some dark, grim moments in those early weeks, but he overcame that. And then he actually legitimately, it wasn't a publicity stunt, was trying to play at the end of last year. He told his trainer, Aaron Alexander, that if we beat Miami on December 17th on the road, I'm playing Christmas Eve against Washington. His trainer wanted him to wait until 2024 because he was afraid that he'd rush back, re-tear the Achilles, and that would be the end of his career. So obviously the Jets lost that game 30-0, so it became a moot point. But I think the football gods owe that fatalistic Jet fan base one here. They sort of owe Aaron Rodgers one here. And their roster's better. To me, they look like an 11-6 team. He's got to stay healthy for at least 14 or 15 starts, and hopefully it'll play out that way.
Out of the darkness, the mystery of Aaron Rodgers out. Listen, Ian, all of your books are so fantastic. Coach K, Jack and Arnie, Belichick. This one's going to be a bestseller. Your stuff in the newspapers, unequaled by your peers. You're a badass. It's an honor to have you on the show. Obviously, you don't need it, but good luck with the book. I'm sure you're going to kill it as usual, and I'm sure it's utterly fantastic. Thanks for taking time to talk about your great new book with us today on Coast to Coast.
Thanks, Scott.
Russell Wilson listed as quarterback one on, of course, every team's got to put out these dopey unofficial depth charts before their preseason games. Wilson listed as one, but Fields is going to start the preseason opener against the Texans.
I still think they're going to start Wilson, but, if they start Fields, so be it. I'm not going to lose any sleep over it. I know this. I think they're both talented.
Ferrall Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
What is the ceiling for this kid? Now that he's got the money, and we saw something click with him, what is the ceiling for a Jordan Love in this Green Bay team?
Deepest pass target group in the National Football League. 2 stud tight ends. They're a legit 5 deep at receiver. 7 bona fide pass targets deal. Come on, man. This guy could be a stud. Top 5 quarterback.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
Say the under has the correct juice to the 6.5 win total for the New York Giants. It's a losing season. It's a bad season in the greater New York area. Is Brian Daboll and is Joe Shane back next year?
As a Giants fan, what are you looking forward to? Absolutely nothing. You're hoping like the Yankees make a long enough run so you can forget about the Giants.
The early line, only on SportsGrid.
Let's go.
Welcome to the LIV Golf Team Championship.
The golf has been mesmerizing.
They are the LIV Golf Team Champions.
Team golf is back.
Oh, yes! Are you ready?
Let's go!
That's what champions do.
I obviously didn't have time to get into in-depth stuff with Ian, but Ian is a guy from Inglewood, New Jersey. Went to St. Cecilia. I know he went to Marist, and this guy has written, sports writer in some of the best newspapers. I mean, he's done it all. The USA Today, did the Daily News. To be honest with you, I think his best work for me was with the Bergen Record in New Jersey. This guy was like their main sports writer forever. And he even wrote the book about Sebastian Telfair. This guy, every single thing he does is just excellent. He doesn't make mistakes. He doesn't misquote or do anything other than write brilliant columns and brilliant books. So believe me, when this guy tells the story of Aaron Rodgers, I think you're really getting the best angle of this guy ever. I think what you've seen on ESPN of this guy and all of his fancy interviews he does with whoever. I know he does the weekly one with his buddy McAfee. That's great. And congratulations. I like Pat. But I think that most of the stuff that you see him do on TV is fabricated and a lot of bullshit. A lot of him just telling you whatever you'll absorb and eat. And then I think that Ian O'Connor is such a great writer and such a great investigative writer and such an incredible storyteller. Believe me, that book will eventually at some point or layered get under Rodgers' skin. I mean, it's going to happen. It's inevitable. And believe me, when he interviews 500 people, he interviews 500 people. My man is the best in class, the best in show, one of the best writers I've ever written or read in sports journalism. And I went to journalism school. Believe me, I learned at a very young age. Learn how to write, before you open that big fat mouth of yours, Ferrall. I've heard my entire career how much of a loudmouth I am. But believe me, I went to journalism school so that I could write. And if you know how to write, you got one step ahead of the pack. And he's one of the best I've seen.
He certainly is. Of course, been here in the New York metropolitan area, Scotty, for a very long time.
He's my age. Job. He's a badass. We're like same year. He graduated same year as me, the whole deal. I've known his stuff forever. I've read his stuff forever. Every time I see an Ian O'Connor column, I read it. It's that simple.
All right, speaking of Aaron Rodgers and the Jets, we'll go there next. Odds to win the AFC East. The Jets opened at plus 280. They are now plus 180. 81% of the money is on the Jets to win the AFC East. I mean, like it says right there, what could go wrong? It says it right there. What could go wrong? 81% of the money on the Jets.
If they put that graphic back up, all I have to say is this. All I need to do is see Robert Saleh's face right there to know that this is not going to happen. I'm not worried about Rodgers' health. I'm not worried about anyone else. I think Breece Hall is going to be great. I think their defense is definitely, allegedly solid. Allegedly, I've heard that they're the best defense in the NFL. And I've said this 1,000 times on here. Yeah, the best defense in the NFL that lost 10 games. You are not the best at anything when you lose 10 games in the National Football League, let me tell you. But I know this. I think that coach has been porous at his job since he came to New York. When he came to New York, you would have thought they got Jesus Christ himself to coach the Jets. I mean, this guy was the hottest commodity in all of football, and he has been so vanilla as the coach of the Jets. It's not even funny, Mike, and you know it.
Oh, I know it. Believe you me. I hope they keep him for a long time. I really do. I hope he's the coach there forever.
Because they'll keep losing.
Bills are still the favorites at plus 165. The Dolphins are plus 210 in the AFC. So
I like that Dolphins plus 210, and I'm not buying your Bills. Now, that is not a reflection of you. It is a reflection of the fact that the entire team left. Listen, I'll believe it when I see it, that you can lose that much star power, and then you're left with old cranky, he's like an old Winnebago, your boy Von Miller. Okay, that's what you're left with.
I have said to you a lot this offseason, I believe that this is a transition year for Buffalo. That
right. You have.
I don't think they expect to. No, let's say they don't expect to win the Super Bowl. I think that they just want to, make the playoffs. Right. And if they won the division, I think it would be sorely on the fact that Allen was outstanding. I think that would be the only way that they would win the division.
My other buddy, who I was with on Saturday, I was at this. I told you I went to that pool party. So the guy I was with is another one like you and Morency, a gigantic Bills fan. and the guy's, wearing his Bills stuff, and he's got it all going, like Bill's swimsuit, Bill's hat. I'm like, oh, here we go. And so then he was selling me on, and he loves you, by the way. This guy never stops with the Carver High stuff. I'm like, oh, my God. And Morency, the three of you are like the three amigos. Anyway, he says to me that I said, you've lost every great player on the team. He says, we've got Coleman. We're going to win. I said, right. Coleman, look, he's entertaining. I'll give you that. But you're telling me that kid's going to carry them to a Super Bowl? Like, I want to see it to believe it.
There is a lot of unknowns with that team. There's only one thing that's not unknown. They have a great quarterback.
They do.
That is not unknown. They have a great quarterback, and a great quarterback can make all those other things come together a little faster.
You're right.
With Coleman and all these other things. So it's still wait and see. Nobody's great until we finally see him catch a pass in the show. All right? Yeah. You could be great. You be drafted. You got to get it done in the show on pain day before you're great and helping them win anything. So that's what your boy needs to do.
I like the kid. I like him.
I do too.
I don't have a problem with the Bills. And I think that game with the Steelers is in Pittsburgh this week, isn't it? They got back-to-back home games, the Steelers.
So. Yes, I believe that they are playing. And that game's on NFL Network, too.
I got a message about my tickets that I never use.
Oh, there you go. Speaking of the Steelers, I'll talk about them a little bit when we come back. We love talking about the Steelers with the AFC North.
Wonder if you got an update on Brandon Ayuk.
When it comes to betting on sports, injuries matter, and Sports Injury Central has you covered all year long with expert injury analysis and injury-based picks for the NFL, NBA, and MLB. Our former pro sports doctors have unmatched experience to analyze every injury so you know the impact of the player, team, and their upcoming matchup. Whether it's articles, podcasts, player insights, or our patented injury scores, Sports Injury Central will help you keep up with your fantasy team and make more informed wagers. So make sure you follow Sports Injury Central and gain an edge at sixscore.com.
What is the ceiling for this kid? Now that he's got the money, and we saw something click with him, what is the ceiling for a Jordan Love in this Green Bay team?
Deepest cast target group in the National Football League. 2 stud tight ends. They're a legit 5 deep at receiver. 7 bona fide pass targets deal. Come on, man. This guy could be a stud. Top 5 quarterback.
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid.
The bottom of this field is a bunch of guys, quite frankly, that aren't on the tour, aren't on the DP tour, aren't on the Korn Ferry tour.
The top 25 or so in this field, I mean, you've got Rory, you've got Lowry, you've got Scheffler, all 4 Americans, Minwoo Lee and Jason Day. And you go to Mito Pereira and Joaquin Neiman out of Chile. So, it really is pretty deep.
In-game live, prime time, only on SportsGrid.
Try and set the stage for what should be a great year of NFL action.
There's a handful of teams that potentially can compete for a Super Bowl championship.
Confusion and uncertainty this year more than some in the past.
This team looks like it's ready to make a move, but we just don't know if it's bad or good this year.
J.J. McCarthy is eventually going to take over, but it's a no-lose situation for them.
I mean, they suck. They were 7-10.
Only on SportsGrid.
Got to take advantage of the BetMGM First Bet 1500 promotion. How do you get it? 4 easy steps. 1, download the BetMGM mobile app on iOS or Android, or go to BetMGM.com and you're in business. 2, sign up, deposit at least $10 in your new account. 3, place your first wager and receive up to $1,500 back in bonus bets if the bet loses. And 4, you heard me, if the bet does lose, your bonus bets will be available in your account once your initial wager is settled. The BetMGM first bet offer of $1,500 in bonus bets. You can't even believe it until you do it yourself.
Unbelievable. It really is with the BetMGM promotions. It's crazy. It is. Here we go. I told you I'd give you the AFC North with the Steelers next after the Jets. So the Steelers right now, plus 700. You see it right there. 41% of the money, which would be the most, is on the Steelers to win the AFC North. There you see Ravens, Bengals, Browns right there in front of them. People love the Steelers.
Well, look, I hate to even say this, but I don't think it's the worst bet in the world. You're telling me that, first of all, this guy hasn't lost ever. Tomlin has never had a losing season. Last year, they were dead to rights, and they still made the playoffs. And now they get no respect whatsoever from the people that allegedly know. These people that are so smart, and all of these sports books have them as, once again, dead to rights. And all these other teams are getting all this love. But the bettors are betting on the Steelers. So why is that? Well, I think they got a quarterback finally. They actually have two of them. They got a great running game. They've shored up their offensive line with drafting in the last 2 years. Look at Fontenot. Look at Jones. I mean, the guy's a monster. I mean, he can handle one side all by himself. And they had him on the wrong side last year, playing on the right side. He should be on the left side. And now they finally have someone that can make that come to fruition. They have a great pass rusher in Watt. They have a good defense. I think they got even stronger and more violent with Patrick Queen. I won't deny their back end is sketchy, but I like Minka. So based on health, now I always worry about Watt. He seems to go down every year, just like his brother did. But if Queen and Watt are on the field when it matters, this team can win games. They're going to win games. I don't see why it's a bad bet. I really don't. I like the Steelers' chances in the division. And what's funny is everyone just thinks it's automatic that it's the Ravens. And who beats the Ravens all the time? The Steelers beat the Ravens all the time. Did they not go into Baltimore in the pouring rain last year and win the game when they had to? When they had to win, did they get it done in the Charm City? Yes, they did. And they'll do it again. All I ever hear about is Lamar and the Ravens. And how did the Ravens look in the playoffs? I mean, they were fantastic, losers.
The Steelers are also they are the most bet team to win any division in terms of tickets. Plus 700 right there. Them, the Lions, and the Texans. Most bet team with the tickets. The Chiefs, Jets, and Eagles, the most bet teams in terms of dollars. But pure tickets, the Steelers have the most.
Well, I mean, this is like you betting on heavies in tater time. That you put up these 8 bills and 7 bills and 6.75 bills and 5 bills, 4-1 bills. The reason why everybody's betting on them is because they're good, and it's 7-1. People want value. They want a payoff. They want to make money. It's funny. These sports books, not only are they juicing you to death, but now some of them are taxing you. They're going to start taxing you to bet. So they will screw you any way they can. They hate when I talk about this on this show. They hate when I bring up how evil they are. I mean, are you kidding me? These people are the devil, okay? I'm not nice. I don't want anything to do with these people. I want to beat them every day, 6 ways till Sunday. And that's why people are betting on that 7-1. They want to make some money finally after they get screwed every day of the week by the sports books. And that's also
later
a
on.
fact.
Yes. Later on, I will give you a couple of other things football-wise, including, I know you're very excited, the full Week 2 preseason schedule for this week, which starts on Thursday night, and tons of games on Saturday, including
I can't wait.
the Bills and the Steelers. I know you're very excited for all that. How about most bet teams to win the Super Bowl?
I watched the Steelers lose to the Texans. I watched the game. It was awful. I've had more fun in a dentist chair.
Wilson listed as quarterback 1 on, of course, every team's got to put out these dopey unofficial depth charts before their preseason games. Wilson listed as 1, but Fields is going to start the preseason opener against the Texans.
I still think they're going to start Wilson, but, if they start Fields, so be it. Like, I'm not going to lose any sleep over it. I know this. I think they're both talented.
Ferrall Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
What is the ceiling for this kid? Now that he's got the money, and we saw something click with him, what is the ceiling for a Jordan Love in this Green Bay team?
Deepest pass target group in the National Football League. 2 stud tight ends. They're legit 5 deep at receivers. 7 bona fide pass target deals. Come on, man. This guy could be a stud. Top 5 quarterback.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
Say the under has the correct juice to the 6.5 win total for the New York Giants. It's a losing season. It's a bad season in the greater New York area. Is Brian Daboll and is Joe Shane back next year?
As a Giants fan, what are you looking forward to? Absolutely nothing. You're hoping like the Yankees make a long enough run so you can forget about the Giants.
The early line, only on SportsGrid.
Let's go.
Welcome to the LIV Golf Team Championship.
The golf has been mesmerizing.
They are the LIV Golf Team Champions.
Team golf is back.
Oh, yes! Are you ready?
Let's go!
That's what champions do.
And we are back, Ferrall, coast to coast here on a Tuesday. Of course, we have LIV Golf coming up this week. We are back. LIV's event for this month. They are heading to the Greenbrier, which is, say it for me, Brady. What is it? America's Course, where they call the Greenbrier?
America's Resort in beautiful West Virginia.
Resort.
Sulphur Springs.
The Greenbrier. Of course, every time there is a LIV Golf event, I am very happy to have Brady Cannon with me here to talk about it. We have been, to say that we've had a good year for LIV Golf would be a little bit of an understatement. We're also, I've got the last 4 events. I don't know how I'm going to live up to it this week at the Greenbrier. We've got 4 in a row. Brady's had tons of winners as well this year, the Steel Mill, everyone else. So we have been riding high with LIV heading into this event. Brady, it is good to see you. As always, my man, thanks for a few minutes.
Yeah, absolutely, Mike. And more than I can say than what I've been doing pre-tournament on the PGA Tour. I've only hit 1 pre-tournament outright on the PGA Tour this season. Xander Schauffele at the PGA. Been lights out in-game and joined the party with all you guys that were on Aaron Rye last week. I hit him in-game. But yeah, the LIV has been my bread and butter this year. It's 4 pre-tournament outrights and a couple in-games on that circuit as well. So, yeah, I might just switch over to all LIV in 2025.
Well, why not? And who knows? We might even have a couple other guys there next year, Brady. You never know what happens between now. I know if we would have sat here a year ago today, we would have never thought John Rahm would be there in January at the end of the year. So it's things do change fairly quickly. Before we get to the chalk, as I always like to do with you first, please tell us a little bit about the course at the Greenbrier. Of course, Bryson DeChambeau tore this place up last year with a record round. Tell us a little bit about the track.
Yeah, the Old White is what they call it, a famous old track that has been around for many, many years. And most recently, well, of course, you mentioned we saw it last year on the LIV circuit with Bryson bringing home the victory there. But prior to that, 2010 through 2019, it was a part of the regular rotation on the PGA Tour, the Greenbrier Classic. And saw it become the site of first-time victories for Xander Schauffele and also Joaquin Niemann. You talk about Bryson DeChambeau winning. We've seen a lot of big hitters win here at this golf course in the past, and that's kind of where I went with my handicap. Surprisingly, it's very similar to TPC Southwind as far as the par and the yardage. TPC Southwind, of course, starting the FedEx Cup playoffs, a par 70, almost 72 or 7250, 7,250 yards, right about the same length, and also a par 70 for the Greenbrier. So you break that down, and that's a fairly long golf course. When it's only a par 70, it's got some teeth to it. And now driving accuracy is not really that much of a requirement here at the Old White, like it is at Southwind. Not really the deal here in West Virginia. It's all about driving distance for me. And DeChambeau is living proof, number one on the LIV circuit in driving distance. So I believe this week that is going to be a big advantage for these guys. Hit it long off the tee and then be dialed in on approach. And that's really the direction I went here. And if you look at DeChambeau, number one, like I say, on the LIV circuit in driving distance, no surprise that he got it done there at this golf course last year.
Not at all, Brady, that's for sure. So I will give the chalk here, and then I'll throw it back to you, and you can start to give who you like. John Rahm, of course, coming off his first win on LIV, 5-1. Bryson plus 750. Joaquin Niemann, who you mentioned, is at 8. Tyrrell Hatton's at 8. And then Cam Smith, Sergio, Louis Oosthuizen, Brooks Koepka, all, of course, at the top of the board as well. It sounds to me, Brady, like you have possibly Bryson sitting on your card this week.
I do. I typically don't like to play the defending champion, but I couldn't get away from him here because of the emphasis on driving distance and because of the way he's been playing this season. Obviously, the guy's been outstanding, one of the best players in the world, no matter what tour you're associated with. So I did go back to the well with DeChambeau, got him at 7-1. And then I also went with Niemann, a guy that won here in 2019 at the same golf course when he was a member of the PGA Tour. Got him at also 7-1, missed the best number there. There are plus 750s out there. But I also looked at other golf courses that I felt were correlated here, Mike. And I came up with Quail Hollow, where they play the Wells Fargo, Oak Hill, where they played the 2023 PGA Championship, Southern Hills, site of the 2022 PGA Championship, and then Caves Valley, where they played the BMW Championship in 2021. Patrick Cantlay beat DeChambeau there in a playoff, if I recall. DeChambeau was runner-up there. And you look at what DeChambeau's done elsewhere. At Quail Hollow in 2021, he was 9th. And if you look at what he did at Oak Hill, the PGA Championship that was won by Brooks Koepka, DeChambeau finished 4th there. So not only has he done well at this golf course, winning last year, he's done well at courses that I think correlate as well. So I went with DeChambeau. I mentioned Niemann, a winner here last year. This guy also just had a runner-up at LIV UK a couple weeks ago, Mike. So I think the form is certainly there for this guy. And then you look at what he's done on the correlated courses: 29th at Caves Valley, 23rd at Southern Hills, and 18th at Quail Hollow in 2021. He's number 1 on the LIV circuit in birdies. He's number 4 in greens and regulation, and second behind DeChambeau in driving distance. And so I took a couple of chalky guys there in DeChambeau and Niemann, but then I went further down the board because this guy just kept popping up when I'm looking at these correlated courses, and that was Abraham Answer at 40-1, who already has a win, by the way, this year on the LIV circuit. He was second at Quail Hollow in 2021. And at the PGA Championship at Southern Hills in 2022, he was 9th. At Caves Valley in 2021, he was 9th. And then also at Oak Hill, pardon me, I thought he had another high finish at Oak Hill, but that was not the case. But at Caves Valley, Southern Hills, and Quail Hollow, Abraham Answer checked all of those boxes. Now, he's not a huge hitter, but he's number 1 on the LIV circuit in driving accuracy. So you know he's going to find the fairways, and he's also 12th in greens and regulation. So those are my 3 guys this week, a couple of chalky guys, and then one longer bomb and answer.
I love Bryson this week, Brady. I'm with you on him. I'm going to play him I'm going to go with you and play Bryson this week. I didn't have him initially on the card because, like you said, it's hard to play the defending champ, go back with all that. You've talked me into it. I'm there. Here's who I am going with. I have Patrick Reed this week at 26-1. He's played well here on LIV. Like, it just hasn't cracked through for him yet, Brady. He's played this course a bunch, of course, like you said, with it formerly being on the PGA Tour. So Patrick Reed, and it's 26-1. Richard Bland has had an unbelievable year, and he finished in the top 5 here at Greenbrier last year on LIV. So I'm going to go with Richard Bland at 29-1. Dustin Johnson, 33-1. Now, Brady, I know Dustin Johnson was really miserable in all the majors this year. He's won on LIV this year. He's got a bunch of top 5s and top 10s. He's 33-1. This guy used to be one of the top 5 guys on the board on LIV every week when you would look at it. So I think Johnson slipped a little too much for me. You mentioned you need some bombers. Dustin Johnson at 33-1. And Peter Uihlein, 70-1 is going to be my big bomb this week, purely, Brady, because he's coming off that win in the Asian Tour last week where he won and beat Caleb Surratt over there. So I'm going to take a shot with Uihlein at 70-1.
Yeah, I like it. Uihlein makes a ton of sense. And actually, when I was looking at the results at all these correlated courses, DJ pops on a couple of them as well. I just didn't go down that direction because I don't know if it maybe DJ's past his prime, but I can't argue with you at all. DJ, I think definitely makes sense for this course.
If he was 17 or 20, I'd probably pass him by. But 33 was just a little too much for me to give up. Brady, let's stay scorching hot with the LIV Golf, the Greenbrier this week. Let's go, baby.
America's
Brady
Resort.
on coast to coast. America's Resort. Russell Wilson listed as quarterback 1 on, of course, every team's got to put out these dopey unofficial depth charts before their preseason games. Wilson listed as 1, but Fields is going to start the preseason opener against the Texans.
I still think they're going to start Wilson, but, if they start Fields, so be it. I'm not going to lose any sleep over it. I know this. I think they're both talented.
Ferrall Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
What is the ceiling for this kid? Now that he's got the money, and we saw something click with him, what is the ceiling for a Jordan Love in this Green Bay team?
Deepest pass target group in the National Football League. 2 stud tight ends. They're legit 5 deep at receivers. 7 bona fide pass target deals. Come on, man. This guy could be a stud. Top 5 quarterback.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
Say the under has the correct juice to the 6.5 win total for the New York Giants. It's a losing season. It's a bad season in the greater New York area. Is Brian Daboll and is Joe Shane back next year?
As a Giants fan, what are you looking forward to? Absolutely nothing. You're hoping like the Yankees make a long enough run so you can forget about the Giants.
The early line, only on SportsGrid.
Let's go.
Welcome to the LIV Golf Team Championship.
The golf has been mesmerizing.
They are the LIV Golf Team Champions.
Team golf is back.
Oh, yes! Are you ready?
Let's go!
That's what champions do.
I know that. What do you have? Do you have news on a?
I do.
What is it? Is it?
I have news that
honestly.
I have news that just came across the Spew News desk here in front of me, and I know we've been waiting for Pittsburgh to make a trade. We have been sitting here. We've been telling you about Ayuk all day. When's it going to happen? Is Pittsburgh going to make a trade? Well, Pittsburgh made a trade, Scotty. Now, it wasn't the Steelers. It was the Penguins. Penguins made a trade. Penguins have acquired Cody Glass, a 2025 third rounder and a 2026 sixth rounder from Nashville in exchange for forward Jordan Fraska. I'm sorry, I know you were waiting for the other Pittsburgh team to make a trade for Ayuk, but instead you're going to have to deal with Cody Glass.
The proverbial Cody Glass. I remember when he was drafted, I think, by the Vegas Golden Knights.
Yes, that is correct. And he has, let's just say, bounced around since then. He's moved a little bit around the board since he was drafted by Vegas. So there you go.
They are. Honestly, they can't even make the playoffs.
I don't know. Like you said when the season ended, you might have a couple years of that right now of not making the playoffs the way that things are going in Pittsburgh. The most bet teams to win the Super Bowl. I'm giving you a lot of most bet teams today. The Chiefs, 13.8% of the tickets. Lions next, Ravens, Niners, Eagles, Bengals, Packers. Then you get to the Bills, Jets, Texans, Steelers, Cowboys, Browns there at the bottom. So the Chiefs and the Lions is who everyone's going to the window for. So that's lock it in, right? Chiefs, Lions, Super Bowl. We'll see you in February. Done deal.
Well, it should have been the Chiefs, Lions in the Super Bowl last year if they wouldn't have coifed. That was the worst choke since the Falcons in the Super Bowl, that Lions game with the Niners. Unbelievable. And go figure, everybody's betting on the Kansas City Chiefs. Is that all we have in football? See, this is a reason. Now, I don't deny I love the NFL Pain Day. I don't deny it. But I love college football because, frankly, well, I guess it's the same thing. It's the same teams always that they talk about, Georgia, Alabama. But this Chiefs team, they're in the Super Bowl every year. I'm sick and tired of it. I'm sure everyone in Kansas City's loving life with their dynasty right now, that they win everything and go to every Super Bowl and win every AFC title game. It is what it is. I'm sick of it, though. I'm sick of the same thing every year in the Super Bowl. Like, we go to L.A., we go to Vegas, we're going to go to New Orleans, and we're going to talk about the Chiefs for 2 weeks. That's what we do. And I think it's stale. I'm sick of it. I beg for change and someone else to win. Like, can we get somebody else in there to win? And can anything be different than the same story every year, the same ending every year, the same start every year, the same end every year? I know people in Kansas City love it. Nobody else does.
People in Kansas City do love it. So, like, would you take, like, say, like, just to change it up, maybe, like, Bills, Cowboys this year? I mean, those teams are never in the Super Bowl. So I know we talk about the Cowboys all the time, but they're never actually in the game. That'd be a good change of pace.
Listen,
but, man, you get a lot of Cowboy talk for 2 weeks. That'd be a lot of Cowboy talk.
Yeah, that doesn't sound appealing to me. I wouldn't have that much of a problem if your Bills got into it. I wouldn't. They have suffered enough. I think they need to go back, and hopefully if they go back, they don't lose again.
Or you want something really off the wall, like Browns Saints or something, like something that would be so off the wall.
Yeah, I don't want that. That's awful. That's a bad movie.
We got a long way to go before you get to the Super Bowl down there in New Orleans. NFL preseason week number 2. All the games are on Saturday except for 3. There is one game on Thursday night this week. That is the Eagles and the Patriots. They will start it. And then everyone else plays on Saturday except for the last 2 that I'll have on the list here for you. Eagles, Patriots, 2.5 Patriots, Falcons, Ravens, Giants, Texans, Bengals, Bears on the slate. Also on Saturday, Lions, Chiefs, Vikings, Browns, Commanders, Dolphins, and I think Bills, Steelers on that. There you go. Giants in there. They're kind of mixed up a little bit, Scotty. I got them all over the place, these games. But there you go.
Look,
there's the first 2.
I mean, are the Steelers really going to, like, lay 2 eggs in a row at home? Because they laid one against the Texans. Are they going to lay one against the Bills? The Bills looked awful against the Bears. And, I guess I wouldn't mind seeing your boy out of Washington, the lefty playing for the Falcons, Penix. I'd like to see him take on the Ravens. I guess that's not bad, right? And then, I don't know. Love looked good.
Daniels is going to play more for Washington against Miami, I would have to think. So you're going to get some more.
He looked fantastic in his start, and so I don't mind watching some of these games. Aren't that bad, I suppose.
Rams Chargers is Saturday night. Bucks and Jaguars. Cowboys are in late night. Cowboys Raiders is the late night game for you there, and then Sunday 2 games. Packers, Broncos, and Saints 49ers. That would wrap up preseason. So you get a little bit more. Bo Nix, who was very impressive in his first outing last weekend.
Yeah, let's see him do that to the Packers. Like, the Packers have already looked good. And remember, the Packers open with the Eagles in Rio de Janeiro, right? The game's in oh, no, wait, it's in Sao Paulo. Where is that game? It's somewhere in Brazil. Sao
Paulo is where, remember, don't wear green. You're not allowed to wear green, even though the 2 teams are playing or wear green. Don't wear green around there. You get in trouble, apparently. Remember all that we did about a month or 2 ago? The gang activity in Sao Paulo. Yeah. Don't wear green. You get a lot happens.
Don't mess with these
people. That was Josh Jacobs' fault for telling everybody about that from the Packers. We'll come back with leftovers, and I'll get all the NBA stuff in on leftovers today, including a couple of other things we'll add to the pile as well.
It's always important to get that NBA news in the middle of August. Yeah. I'm hanging by a thread with the NBA.
You got Christmas Day spreads for you. I mean, come on. Christmas Day spreads. Russell Wilson listed as quarterback 1 on, of course, every team's got to put out these dopey unofficial depth charts before their preseason games. Wilson listed as 1, but Fields is going to start the preseason opener against the Texans.
I still think they're going to start Wilson, but, if they start Fields, so be it. Like, I'm not going to lose any sleep over it. I know this. I think they're both talented.
Ferrall Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
What is the ceiling for this kid? Now that he's got the money, and we saw something click with him, what is the ceiling for a Jordan Love in this Green Bay team?
Deepest pass target group in the National Football League. 2 stud tight ends. They're a legit 5 deep at receiver. 7 bona fide pass targets deal. Come on, man. This guy could be a stud. Top 5 quarterback.
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid.
Say the under has the correct juice to the 6.5 win total for the New York Giants. It's a losing season. It's a bad season in the greater New York area. Is Brian Daboll and is Joe Shane back next year?
As a Giants fan, what are you looking forward to? Absolutely nothing. You're hoping like the Yankees make a long enough run so you can forget about the Giants.
The early line. Only on SportsGrid. Let's go. Welcome to the LIV Golf Team Championship.
The golf has been mesmerizing.
They are the LIV Golf Team Champions.
Team golf is back.
Oh, yes! Are you ready?
Let's go!
That's what champions do.
For Carver High's leftovers.
They certainly do. We'll start here, something that you and Gabe actually talked about a while ago, which was at the start of Coast to Coast. Michigan will not have Jim Harbaugh as the honorary captain for their season opener at home. I guess somebody decided it was bad optics to have the guy who's suspended from the NCAA for the next 4 or 5 years to be on the field. Did they think that and meanwhile they're still trying to even throw more stuff on the current head coach? Did they think it was bad optics to bring that guy on the field? Now, look, I get it. He just won a national championship. And honestly, Scotty, all this stuff is nonsense. And there should be a time that Jim Harbaugh is at the big house and be honored and celebrated for what happened that past season. But the first game out of the chute probably wasn't the one where they should have done that.
Yeah. Give it a decade. Can they let a decade blow
couple
by
years,
and then bring him back on a Saturday when no one even in the crowd knows who he is and honor him then?
Oh, jeez. Yeah, why not? I have for you also Christmas Day spreads for the NBA.
What?
Can you believe it? Knicks minus 9.5, Mavericks minus 3.5, Celtics minus 4.5, Warriors minus 3.5, Suns minus 1.5. Christmas Day spreads. Unbelievable.
Yeah, I'll take the Nuggets, the Lakers, lay it with the Celtics, lay it with the Mavs, and I won't be surprised if Wemby covers at the Garden against the Knicks, but the Knicks win.
I have a Bronny prop for you on a Tuesday in August. Are you ready? Bronny to score 20 or more points in any game in the regular season. 10-1. Honestly, I'm not going to lie to you. They should be giving you 50-1 for that, for him to score 20 points. He could score 20 points in the G League game or the Summer League game, wherever he was. He going to score 20 in an NBA game? Come on.
Yeah,
you got to give me like 100.
I don't think so either.
I'm going to pass. I'll pass on that one. Kevin Durant buys a piece of PSG, the soccer team, the big-time soccer team in France. I got to tell you, I knew he had a lot of money, but to buy a piece of that guy, that's got to cost him a pretty penny to get involved with PSG. That's a big-time operation they have over there.
That's a nice slice of real estate right there. Getting your hands on a piece of that franchise, that is money.
Indeed. WNBA player De'Arica Hamby sues the league and the Las Vegas Aces for how she was treated while she was pregnant. Vegas traded Hamby to Los Angeles in January of 2023 because she was pregnant, according to the lawsuit and how she was being treated. Of course, Vegas denied those things when it happened, saying it was to clear space to sign Candace Parker, but Hamby does not agree, Scotty. She says, no, that is not what happened.
I want to see how they prove it, that they traded her because she was pregnant.
Right.
Prove it.
Also, they got to prove that she was treated poorly even before the trade.
Yeah, I mean,
because
prove
she was
it.
Pregnant. And the last thing for me, I can't believe this because when he left Long Island, I mean, he was going to be the Toronto captain for life. He grew up dreaming of being the captain of the Toronto Maple Leafs, and he has been for the last few years, but John Tavares will give up the C and hand it over to Austin Matthews. I'm sure that'll change all their fortunes of the last 50 years, and they'll suddenly win the cup because they're changing captains.
Well, he's a badass. I'll give you that. And I think Tavares' best stuff is behind him. And he's certainly been through the ringer, hasn't he? And that franchise has as well. They never get it done. But Austin Matthews is truly unbelievable. Ferrall finish, a Long Island principal arrested for harassing his ex, threatening to beat up her new boyfriend. You got to add that in there. He's going to go over and kick the new boyfriend's ass. Texas middle school bans all black clothing because it's, quote, associated with depression, end quote. Is that what it is? So black clothing now causes depression. I have heard it all. Where's the schmoozer when you need him? With his black outfits every day for 40 years. My man always was in black. Didn't we have a guy at Sirius always in black too? Kevin, what was that dude's name? He always wore black every day, the guy on the Octane or whatever. Astronauts who were supposed to go on an 8-day ISS trip, the space station trip, may be stranded there until 2025. Stranded in space. What could be worse, car ride? How can you watch the NFL? GTD is next. Go to FerrallOnABench.com for everything else. We'll see you tomorrow at 3 Eastern in the afternoon on Coast to Coast.